In the heart of West Africa, a storm was brewing. The date was July 26, 2023, in Niger. The Presidential Guard detained President Mohamed Bazoum, and a new military government declared itself in power. This event sent shockwaves across the region, especially through the economic community of West African states, or ECOWAS. They weren't happy, not one bit. They issued an ultimatum: restore the democratically elected president within 1 week, or face the consequences, including the possibility of military intervention. The world held its breath. This was a high-stakes game of political chess, and everyone was watching to see who would make the next move. Now, enter the main character of our story, a young, determined leader from the neighboring country of Burkina Faso. His name is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. At just 34 years old, he had become the world's youngest head of state after his own rise to power. Traoré wasn't just some bystander watching the drama unfold next door. He saw the situation in Niger not as an isolated incident, but as part of a much larger struggle for sovereignty sweeping across the Sahel region. He and his counterpart in Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta, had been on a similar path, pushing back against old colonial influences and charting a new course for their nations. So when ECOWAS drew a line in the sand for Niger, Traoré didn't hesitate. He saw it as a threat not just to Niger, but to his own country and the entire movement they represented. He and Mali released a joint statement that was nothing short of explosive. It was a clear, defiant message to ECOWAS and the world. They declared that any military intervention against the people of Niger would be considered a declaration of war against Burkina Faso and Mali as well. Think about that for a second. This wasn't just a statement of support. It was a pact. A military alliance forged in the face of a common threat. They were putting their own soldiers, their own nations, on the line for their neighbor. This move completely changed the game. Suddenly, this wasn't just about Niger anymore. It was a regional standoff. The ultimatum from ECOWAS, intended to isolate the new government in Niger, had instead created a powerful, unified bloc of resistance. Traoré's response was a masterclass in political maneuvering. He had effectively called ECOWAS's bluff. He knew that a military intervention, already a risky and complex option, had now become exponentially more dangerous. An invasion of Niger would now mean fighting a three-front war against three determined armies, all fighting on their home turf, all united by a shared vision of sovereignty. But why did Traoré take such a massive risk? To understand his actions, we have to look at the bigger picture. For years, countries in the Sahel like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have been battling brutal insurgencies with limited success, often with the help of foreign military forces, particularly from France. But for many citizens and for leaders like Traoré, this foreign presence began to feel less like help and more like a continuation of colonial-era control. They felt that these foreign powers were not truly invested in their security, but rather in protecting their own economic and strategic interests, like access to the region's rich resources, especially uranium in Niger. Traoré represents a new generation of African leaders who are saying, enough. They believe that African problems require African solutions. They are tired of being told what to do by Western powers or regional bodies they see as influenced by those same powers. His speeches often echo this sentiment. He talks about self-determination, about breaking the chains of neocolonialism, and about building a future where Africans control their own destiny and their own resources. His defiance against the ultimatum wasn't just a political move, it was a powerful symbol of this new Pan-African consciousness. He was speaking not just for Burkina Faso, but for a growing number of people across the continent who are demanding respect and true independence. The fallout from Traoré's bold declaration was immediate. The one-week deadline set by ECOWAS came and went. There was no military intervention. The threat had been neutralized, at least for the moment. Instead, the focus shifted to diplomacy and sanctions. But even the sanctions backfired. They caused significant hardship for the ordinary people of Niger, but they also strengthened the resolve of the new government and its allies. The populations in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger rallied around their leaders, seeing the external pressure as proof that they were on the right path. Protests in support of the new governments and against foreign interference became common. In the months that followed, Traoré Goïta and the new leader of Niger, General Abdourahmane Tiani, solidified their partnership. They formed what is now known as the Alliance of Sahel States, a mutual defense pact that formalizes the promise they made during those tense days in July. This alliance is more than just a military agreement. It's a political and economic bloc aimed at creating a new center of power in the region, one that operates independently of traditional alliances. They are now working together on everything from security operations to economic projects, seeking new partners like Russia and creating their own path forward. Ibrahim Traoré's response to the ultimatum was a pivotal moment. It was a calculated gamble that paid off. Fundamentally reshaping the political landscape of West Africa, he showed that a determined leader, even from a small and resource-strapped country, can stand up to immense pressure and change the course of history. He didn't just react to a crisis. He seized it as an opportunity to accelerate his vision for a new, sovereign Africa. His actions demonstrated a deep understanding of regional dynamics, popular sentiment, and the limits of military power. He essentially told the world that the old rules no longer apply in the Sahel. This story is still unfolding, and the future of the Sahel remains uncertain. The challenges are immense, from ongoing security threats to deep-seated economic problems. But what is certain is that Ibrahim Traoré has emerged as a key figure to watch. His bold defiance, his powerful rhetoric, and his vision for a self-reliant Africa have resonated far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. He has become a symbol of a new kind of leadership, one that is unapologetic, assertive, and determined to write its own story. Whether you agree with his methods or not, there is no denying the impact he has had. The young captain from Ouagadougou stood his ground, and in doing so, he may have just changed the continent forever. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the events shaping our world. See you next time.